Hello, I am Ajit Kumar Jha, and I am the CEO of Power Pixar channel. And today I thought of making a video on Priyanka Gandhi. And as Priyanka Gandhi debuts in parliament, in fact, she swore, and that kind of became quite a sensation in the social media. So I thought, let me take a look at Priyanka Gandhi, her future, her past, and what does Priyanka Gandhi remind you of? And that's why I feel that the biggest reason for Priyanka's popularity, other than the fact of her personality, other than the fact of the story behind her, is the fact that people see a reflection of Indira Gandhi in her. The fact that Indira Gandhi was her was her grandmother, and that she has a strong resemblance with Indira Gandhi in terms of looks and also in terms of her spontaneity. The fact that she connects with the public exactly like Indira Gandhi used to do in her period. So let's start with, because we have a news peg here, the fact that Priyanka just became a member of parliament. Priyanka is 52, and for the first time, she has become a member of parliament from Wayanad Lok Sabha constituency in Kerala, which technically was in 2024. Rahul Gandhi had won, from two constituencies and ended up resigning from Wayanad. A lot of people felt that people in Wayanad might feel cheated, but that didn't happen. Why? Because Priyanka, when she contested, she ended up securing 6.22 lakh votes. In fact, she beat her nearest rival of the CPM, Communist Party of India Marxist, Satyan Mokeri, by over 4 lakh votes. The BJP candidate was also a woman, ended up coming a distant third. So, obviously, Priyanka Gandhi is very popular, not only in her election bid, but also if you have watched Priyanka Gandhi over the years. In fact, for the first time, Priyanka Gandhi ended up campaigning for her mother was as far back as, um, if I remember correctly, in 2004. And in fact, some people feel that she even campaigned during 99 Lok Sabha elections. And since then, what is striking about Priyanka is the fact that she's an excellent campaigner. She speaks Hindi and English with equal ease. She has a connect with people. She responds very quickly. She's not wooden like sometimes Rahul Gandhi appears, or she doesn't have to think of the words. It just automatically comes to her. She's a natural leader. And that is why I think uh, the fact that most people, both her admirers as well as her detractors, they kind of all admit that she has that charisma, she has that connect with ordinary people, and she does it with such ease. It doesn't seem that she's actually preparing a speech. Once in a while, you will see some of the Congress policies, she'll have a small chit of paper and she'll read it out. But other than that, it just comes naturally to her. And that, I think, is a great hallmark in politics for being a great leader. Let's take a look back a little bit at Priyanka Gandhi's past. Priyanka Gandhi initially was a student in Welham College when Rahul Gandhi was in Doon School. These Welham Girls' School and Doon School are right next to each other. And this is, back long time back when her father had just become Rajiv Gandhi had just become the prime minister. And since then, remember, for the first time at a very young age, 1984, Priyanka saw her grandmother, mother Indira Gandhi, being killed by bodyguards. 7 years later, in 1991, on 21st May, she saw her father, Rajiv Gandhi, being killed. Uh, Again, by a woman killer from Sri Lanka, basically, when he had gone to give a speech in the South. So think of this young girl and her brother, of course, both of them growing up with their grandmother being murdered and their father being murdered. I mean, think of what the trauma, emotional trauma that she must have undergone. And her mother comes into politics in 2004. She was also there before, but in 2004, in that campaign, which I, as a journalist, I sort of was traveling along with Sonia Gandhi, with other uh, sort of politicians of the Congress party, and I witnessed that Priyanka was already coming into her fore. She was already campaigning in an extraordinary manner. And I remember that movement that Sonia took from Delhi in Western UP, I had covered. And I remember seeing Priyanka, of course, as a from far. It wasn't a one-to-one connect. But I remember during that period watching and wondering what this young girl would do if she were to join politics. In fact, I think if she had made her debut at that time, she would almost have, about 2 decades in politics by now. But the reason when people asked her sometimes why didn't she join active politics at that time, it was the anger she felt, the anguish, the trauma of her father being murdered, of her grandmother being murdered, getting into, it's very difficult to come to terms with such a thing. And then, of course, she was married, she had 2 children, there were security threats when she and her brother were students back in Dehradun. Then later on, when they moved to Delhi, again there was a security threat. And what the kids must have felt at that time. In fact, in Delhi, it was a threat of kidnapping. And later, uh, once from 2014 onwards, since the rise of Prime Minister Modi and the BJP 2.0, Priyanka has been at the receiving end in terms of attacks by the BJP, by others, and the target has been her husband. In fact, I remember she had to rush to the school of a child because the child growing up in a school, at the age of 13, he was feeling traumatized by all this media glare, by the attacks on her husband and his links with the DLF group, the builders in Gurgaon, all those allegations. Of course, nothing is ever proved in Indian politics, and these allegations continue. But think of what she underwent, the pressures, and then seeing her brother, who she herself has claimed is her closest friend, Rahul Gandhi, her elder brother. She keeps protecting him. You would see in interview after interview how she protects her brother. And now that she has come into parliament, we will see a new Priyanka Gandhi. We saw the success of Priyanka Gandhi during campaigns, the extraordinary connect she had. When for example, she had become the in charge of Eastern UP, I think. Western UP was under Sindhia. So she was given in charge of Eastern UP. The campaign that she had done at that time in Uttar Pradesh was absolutely extraordinary. In fact, I remember visiting Lucknow at that time and going to the Congress office, and I talked to some of the Congress, not really leaders, but workers, caretakers who were part of the Congress office in Lucknow. And when I talked to them, I asked them, what is it that Priyanka is bringing into politics? What is it that you see? What do you notice the difference? And they first began by saying that Congress, which has been devastated in Uttar Pradesh politics for I would say decades now, for the first time the office had come into life. They pointed out that when Priyanka Gandhi came, they completely sort of cleaned up the place, brought cups and plates which were even not existing. The local party leaders would never attend the office. Since Priyanka was coming, there was a total buzz around in the office. And then I talked to some other Congress leaders, and they pointed out that Priyanka was enthusing the cadres, the local leaders in a major way. In fact, the local leaders of Congress in Uttar Pradesh told me they would have loved if Congress had projected her as the future chief minister of Uttar Pradesh, which of course Congress did not do. And the problem at that time was that although Priyanka did camp in Lucknow and other parts of UP, but then, she was based in Delhi, and then she would have to move between Delhi and Lucknow back and forth. So I kind of observed that despite all those limitations, despite the fact that initially she would only campaign for her mother and later her brother in their respective constituencies, and of course in 2024, we saw Priyanka as the number one campaigner of Congress. In fact, I would argue the number one campaigner of the India Alliance. And look at the difference it made. I mean, the Congress party, which in 2014 and 2019 was hovering around the figure of, let's say, 50 MPs, almost doubled its number in 2024, 99 members of parliament. And one of the reason, not the only reason perhaps, of course, the fact that Rahul Gandhi marched during, the crisscrossing that he did in the country during the Bharat Joro Yatra from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, and later from the northeast, to all the way to the west. During that campaign, of course, he had reinvented himself. He had partly reinvented Congress. He had brought in the new slogans of the Constitution, the caste survey, and connected all that and challenged Hindutva from a Mandal position, let's say. It had almost become a Kamandal versus Mandal kind of situation. So that was, of course, very important for the revival of Congress. But so was the campaign by Priyanka Gandhi. The way Priyanka would explain, the Congress agenda to the ordinary folks, the way Priyanka would connect with all kinds of people, especially the women voters, across castes, across classes, across rural versus urban. That was simply extraordinary. And I had observed some of it during the campaign. I have read a lot of very good commentators who had watched Priyanka during the campaign, sort of arguing, and everyone felt, as I said, both the detractors and the critics, that she is just an extraordinary grassroots leader. And now that she has come to parliament, one expects a new Priyanka in her second innings, a Priyanka Gandhi who will lead the opposition charge in parliament, will lead India alliances, grievances, their positions, their articulations. I think she's perhaps the best person to articulate that in parliament. Of course, Rahul Gandhi does that. But Priyanka will do it with a certain finesse. As I said, she has a better control over the Hindi language as well as in English. And she does it without, it doesn't, when Priyanka speaks, she speaks from the heart. It doesn't appear that Priyanka is thinking when she is speaking. It just flows out of her, and it just goes, and it connects immediately people all around her. That, I think, is simply extraordinary. And even when she swore in parliament, one recalled how Indira Gandhi had sworn in parliament, how the various Gandhis had sworn in parliament, Rajiv Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi. In fact, some people even recalled how Nehru had sworn in parliament. You might have seen that kind of buzz in the social media. But what Priyanka Gandhi needs to do with this extraordinary connect and charisma of hers is to focus on the organization of the Congress. The Congress party needs to reinvent itself. The fact that the Congress did very well in 2024 Lok Sabha compared to 2014 and 2019, the fact that its numbers doubled, the fact that it was able to bring almost 28 political parties together and sort of weld them together in that India alliance, the next step has to be a stronger core of the India alliance, which is the Congress party. The fact that Congress lost the Haryana assembly election and the Maharashtra assembly election, of course, it won in Jharkhand, but that is because it played second fiddle to Jharkhand Mukti Morcha leader Hemant Soren. So it was not on its own. Now, it is important that just as Congress party had won Karnataka, Telangana, Himachal before the Lok Sabha election, it needs to win some of the elections that are about to take place. For example, Delhi is going to be early next year. Later next year, in November, we'll have Bihar state assembly elections. The following year, in 2026, right after the Bihar assembly elections will be the Uttar Pradesh state assembly elections and several other state assembly elections all across the country. The only way Congress can challenge the BJP under the leadership of this charismatic leader Priyanka Gandhi and her brother is if they have a strong grassroots organization, if they can reinvent the old Congress party, the Leviathan at one time, the hegemonic party, and not only a dominant party, but the hegemonic party for almost 5 decades in this country, where all kinds of elections would take place at the DCC level, District Congress Committee level, even below that, the village level, PCC level, Pradesh Congress Committee level, and attract the young people towards the party, which somehow the Congress refuses to do. The fact that they need to reinvent the organization. There's a lot of movement in the social media. There is a lot of talk in Twitter, and Rahul Gandhi has used all that in a very positive manner. But at the ground level, the Congress needs to reorganize itself. Only a reorganized Congress with this great, extraordinary, charismatic leader who has a massive connect, Priyanka Gandhi, can she then fit into the shoes of her grandmother, Indira Gandhi? Of course, Indira Gandhi imposed the national emergency in India in 1975. But what people remember her for is not so much the emergency, some of the detractors do, but her admirers remember her for, standing up to America when Bangladesh was created, when America sent the Seventh Fleet, standing up to, Kissinger and Nixon and challenging them, and then breaking Pakistan into two parts. West Pakistan remained in Pakistan and Bangladesh was created. that 1971 victory, if you remember, where the opposition leader Atal Bihari Vajpayee ended up calling Indira Gandhi Durga Mai. That is what people remember. The fact that how she sort of created Sikkim was an independent country, how she made it part of India. That was Indira Gandhi. The fact that she gave slogans like "Garibi Hatao," and the kind of changes that brought about in terms of turning around the sort of the poverty, inequality at that point of time, nationalizing banks. Of course, a lot of people are very critical of it today, but at that time, that is what had created that image of Indira Gandhi as the Durga Mai. Perhaps no other Congress leader in the history of Congress party, other than her father, Jawaharlal Nehru, had that kind of image. And remember, she had lost in 77, but won again in 1980. Remember that picture where she climbed the elephant and she came back and threatened the Janata Party, and then she won. And then if she had not been murdered in 1984, I was a student in England at that time. If she hadn't been murdered, I think the Indira era would have continued for a very long time. Well, Indira Gandhi is no more, but Priyanka Gandhi is there. The fact that she reminds you of that aura of Indira Gandhi, the fact that she has the charisma and the connect and the facility with both Hindi and English, the fact that she's an extraordinary orator, that one expects in her second innings as member of parliament to become the powerful one would call the attack point that the India Alliance and the Congress can use as shield as well against the might of the BJP. We will look forward for Priyanka Gandhi's role both in parliament and all over the country during the next assembly elections that are going to take place. But please subscribe to our channel. We will make many more such videos in the future, much more regularly that I have been making. Please do subscribe. Thank you very much.